What's up YouTube? For today's video, we have a full Pokemon signature ability team. So in the world of Pokemon, right, there are Pokemon, but I know you knew that one. There are some abilities out there that no other Pokemon share except for one Pokemon or its small evolution line. That's what today's video will be covering because it's quite an interesting topic. What is your favorite signature ability? Leave below in the comment section of the video. Now, if you are new to the channel or if you're an old viewer or something like that and you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, select that bell and select all notifications because if you missed the salt, it's not my fault. Big shout out to all the people on the Twitch as well. We actually did a Twitch team building stream yesterday, and this is one of the teams we actually came up with. If you're into that one and you want to watch the live streams, links in the description of the video. All right, we have a couple of battles today. This one was against Mr. Guzzlord, and we have a Bagon lead. And I'm going to put a bag on my head to narrate this. Actually, I'm not, because I won't be able to see. I'd have to get some scissors out and cut some little holes. Right, so I've got my Shedinja lead here. This is a special set, and I tell you what, this is a hard set to use. So we got Silver Wind, Shadow Ball, Endure, and Hyper Beam. Yes, it gets Hyper Beam. And we got the ability as Wonder Guard. Wonder Guard obviously has to be in this team, really. And we got the item as Weakness Posse. Unfortunately for me there, I went for the Endure turn one, but the Bagon went for a Dragon Dance, and therefore I couldn't go for Endure the next turn, and my strategy was sunk. Unfortunately, however, Shedinja will be back in the next couple of battles. So now I'm going to swap in the Ditto there. We're going to copy that Bagon stats nicely. The good thing about Ditto it does retain its health. So if you've got a little bit more health than the opposing Pokemon, you're at an advantage. So unfortunately for the baby Salamence, I'm going to learn to fly, and it's going to go down. Now, I got Normalium Z as the item. I don't have Choice Scarf, so that was actually pretty risky, to be honest. Now we got a TV antenna coming out there. That's actually quite a good name. It kind of reminds me, right, of when you have one of those, like, really old TVs with, like, those huge big box, like, huge things. I'm not sure. You guys might be too young for this. I might be too old for telling you this. But there's an antenna, right? You put it on there, and then it's not in the right place. So then you've got to stack up, like, 69 books and put the antenna on top. And then you've got to, like, almost break it by putting it in the right position. Yeah, anyway, you get the idea. And the TV was, like, black and white. So we got a play rough there, and that's my Bagon, which is going to go down. Unfortunately, that first rock slide actually missed. Otherwise, we could have had a Friday video. So now we're going to go into Charge Bug. Charge Bug gets a really cool ability called Battery, right? And with Battery, it only works in doubles battles. It gives the allies a 30% boost in special attack. I do have a double battle later on in this video too, at least featuring this ability. So this was more of a defensive set. We got Everlight. It's very, very nice in defense, actually. We got Toxic, Rest, and Sleep Talk, and Charge Beam. We got the ability as Battery, and we got the item as Everlight. Max health and max defense. Last little bit in special defense. It was very, very good. It's like my physical wall there. I could tank all the hits. So we've got a Toxic on TV antenna there. TV antenna is about to fall off the TV. So one more attack is going to be enough to take it out. I mean, really can't do much to me except go for play rough. And I could tank probably 10 of them like quite easily and then rest off. So we're going to go for a Charge Beam here. My goal is to try and like boost my special attack at least. It's like a bulky boosting special attack, except it's not bad on the special side, but it's mostly good on the defensive side. That's how I built it. So we got a nice little special attack there. And now we got the Crobat coming out. I mean, the Swoobat. God, they're both bats, all right? Cut your boy a bit of slack. So now we've got the knockoff here. That's going to knock off my Everlight. It's a physical set, or it's just, I'm not sure. Is it mix, or does it have like knockoff as its only move? I wasn't sure. So firing that Charge Beam out of my little bus there, and it's a 2-hit KO, which is actually really good, right? So the next one will take it out. This is a physical Crobat, Swoobat, and it's going to fire off a heart. I just realized something. That heart stamp didn't come from its heart. It came from its nose. Does that mean its heart's in its nose? Did I just come up with something new there? Like a new theory? Anyway, so I live on 2 health there. I'm able to fire off another beam out of the bus, and Unova Crobat is going to go down. Man, when people people call like other Pokemon names, like it confuses the heck out of me. Like every single battle, I'll do it. So now we got I thought that said Pidgeotto. We got Pidgeonite coming out here, and it's going to go for an Aero Ace, and the old bus's tires are going to be a little bit flat after that one, and that is going to faint. However, I still got 3 more Pokemon, and it's a pretty even battle at the moment. So now we're going to swap in one of my favorite abilities here with Dumb Anderson. Now, Zen Mode. If you guys don't know what Zen Mode is, pretty much Dumb Anderson actually changes it into another form, and it's quite an odd kind of form. It's pretty cool, actually. Let me explain what Zen Mode actually does and how it's achieved. So let me bring up my Dumb Anderson set. So we got Substitute, Fire Blast, Psychic, and Flame Charge. So you're probably wondering, you know, I know you like to run like MLG sets and stuff, but why are you running special moves on them? Let me explain. So Darmanitan is primarily a physical attacker, right? And it's got nice speed. However, when it goes into Zen mode, it's basically its attack and special attack swap. So it gets like a big boost in special attack, and then its attack is basically crap. And its speed is really crap too. So that's why I've got Flame Charge on there to boost the speed of it. I've also got the item as Salak Berry too. And Subshoot will actually get me down to Zen mode, because you need to be at 50% or lower for Zen mode to actually activate, which is really cool. So now I'm below that mark there, and Zen mode is going to trigger, and we're turning ourselves into a little... Damn, look at those. Look at Darmanitan's thighs. This boy hasn't missed leg day in its entire life. Look at them. All right, so we're going to fire that Fire Blast off there, and old Pidgeotto's going to go down. That's good, man. I'm liking that. So now we got a Meow coming out here. I was thinking, is this going to be a physical set like Fake Out or something like that? It was a physical set, but I had Sucker Punch instead. So Darmanitan's going to go down there. Man, he's off the leg day after that. Man, look at those feet. It's such a funny design for a Pokemon. It actually doesn't move. It's kind of like Sudowoodo. It just like sits there and doesn't do anything. It doesn't even blink. Anyway, so we got to assist Meowstic here, and it's going to get Natural Gift, which is quite unfortunate. Now I'm going to swap in my Kamala. However, Kamala is going to use Fling and Iron Ball. Why would it be using that for? Because it's a Zoroark with Illusion, and Meowstic is... it's not going to be meowing too much after that. So we got one more Pokemon left, which is Wormadamson, and that's actually a good name. So we're going to go for the Throat Chop here. You guys are probably wondering why I've got Throat Chop. Let me explain. Did you guys just see what happened then? Before I explain what Throat Chop actually does IRL, what I've got right is a Wormadamson with Bug Buzz, right? And I've got Throat Chop. Throat Chop I actually just used with Substitute, right? So commonly Pokemon with sound-based moves try to get around Substitute and things like that. I thought Throat Chop would be pretty cool. This Wormadam, right, only has one attacking move, and guess what move it is? It's Bug Buzz. They are completely walled due to my Throat Chop Pokemon. So let me explain Throat Chop IRL, right? Because you guys may want to be filled in the blanks and stuff. So pretty much what you do, right, the shops are going to close at 5 p.m. So you get in like 5 minutes to 5 p.m. You get that 50% chop on sale, that lamb chop, right? You go home, you cook it, and then you throw the lamb chop that's burnt, right, at the opposing Pokemon's neck. And that is Throat Chop, right? Also, when that black on the screen when it hits them, right, that's because they can't see. That's what Throat Chop is in real life. I hope you learned something. So Wormadam here really can't do anything there, the poor thing. I set a Sword Dance up in it, and I'm going to end its career with Throat Chop. Throat Chop's a really cool move too. It's very, very situational. I was really actually glad this happened in the battle, not only for salt reasons, but you guys actually got to see it in action. So it completely stops sound-based moves for 2 turns. So that's what it does. And yeah, that's it. A salty finish for Mr. Guzzled there. I would have been salty after that, not gonna lie. All right, next battle. Let's get into this one. We got a battle on my Discord. This one against Hunt. If you guys do want to battle me or just join in the community, the Discord link is in the description. Anyone is welcome to join. Damn, I'm sweating. I'm sweating at the moment. I don't know why I'm sweating for. I mean, it's Australia, right? But I don't know. I'm still sweating. So it felt like a spider was crawling up my arm, but I was just sweating. So we got a single lead here. I'm gonna go for the Flame Charge. Now, interestingly enough, that actually went for rest. And it's got leftovers too. So as soon as it went for rest, my scum detector started to, they started to go off. So I was thinking, what are they going to do? I basically know this Pokemon's moves inside out. So I had a little inkling what it could be. So I'm going to go for another Flame Charge there. Basically what I'm trying to do with the Darmanitan is get it set up right. We want to try and get a Zen mode sweep here with your homeboy. So we got Substitute, Fire Blast, Psychic, and Flame Charge. The idea was to get a couple of Flame Charges off, then I was going to get the Substitute down, right? But I was a little bit worried what moves this thing actually had because it was going to sleep. And I know there is actually a Pokemon, quite a few Pokemon that get Psycho Shift, and I know this Pokemon does get it because it's actually one of my, more favorite moves. So they're going to go for Rest. They've got Sleep Talk, right? So this is actually a Rest, Sleep Talk, Psycho Shift set. So let me explain Psycho Shift to you, right? Say you're asleep, right? Say you're asleep, and you use like Sleep Talk Rest or Rest Sleep Talk or Sleep Rest Talk. Whatever meme you want to say it, right? You use one of those moves, right? So you'll be asleep, right? You'll transfer your rest to like the other person, right? You'll wake up, right, and they'll be asleep. That's what Psycho Shift is. And if you're asleep, and if you're paralyzed, you'll shift the status of them, and you'll be like, not paralyzed, you'll be jumping around like a spring little chicken. So we're going to go for a Flame Charge there. It's a pretty good, it's actually about a 4 to 5 hit KO, only because of Darmanitan's great attack stat. I actually did a hindering nature on that, so still doing okay. So the other move that's got is Air Cutter, of course. If the Psycho Shift doesn't, come to fruition, you can always go for an Air Cutter. That's pretty good because I want it to do damage to me so I can get, my substitute broken and then go for another substitute and trigger the old Zen mode. All right, so we're in Zen mode range here. We're going to get hit by another air cut. I was actually hoping that it would miss and I'd retain my substitute, but that wasn't, the case here. It hits pretty hard on the special side, old Sigilyph, and it's quite bulky too. All right, so it's in a pretty good range to fire off a Fire Blast. We got the Zen mode triggering there, turning us into old Thick Boy again. Look at those hands, man. If you ever got gripped by those big blue hands, man, imagine that thing in an arm wrestle. Actually, wait, does it even have arms? It doesn't even have arms. It'll just grab you with its hand. So Sigilyph's going to go down right, and now we've got Spinder coming out. So okay, I know Spinder gets Sucker Punch, so I've got enough room to go for a substitute, so let's go for that in case it goes for a Sucker Punch. I'm going to eat my Salac Brain. Not that it really matters. I've already got I think I've got 4 or 5 speed boosts already from the earlier encounter with the Sigilyph. And it's got Rock Slide. So okay, interesting, Rock Slide. So that's going to hit me, obviously, for super effective because I'm Fire and Psychic. I still retain my Fire type, but I actually get a Psychic type. But it doesn't break the sub, which is really nice. And now it's going to go for Sucker Punch. I knew that it had Sucker Punch. Most of them do if they're a physical set. It's quite a good way to get around ghost types and stuff too. So I'm going to fire off that big Fire Blast there. And man, this thing takes it so well. It is a Salt Vest, clearly. It's like a 3-hit KO. So I'm going to go for another Fire Blast there. And I was hoping for a burn, but it didn't happen. So that was still pretty impressive damage. And now we're going to go down to a Rock Slide here. I think that would have been pretty close because it didn't break the substitute the first turn. And I might have been able to do some mind games with Sucker Punch, but that wasn't, that wasn't how it was. And Darmanitan goes down. All good, though. It did a pretty nice job. So we got this in range for the Spinder to take out. However, the Spinder is actually going to swap out. And I was thinking, should I go for a Z move here or should I go for Silverwind or Endure? I went for the Endure in hopes it would go for Rock Slide, so that was a fail again. Porsche Ninja, so I got to swap it out, right? I've got no choice. I got to swap it out. This thing could easily take me out. So I was into the Kamala here. Is it going to be the Zoroark or is it going to be the normal Kamala? So now it's going to go for Fling, which is going to fail. Which is pretty good. And now we got the low sweep here. I'll tell you what happened there. You know how I've got a Fling Zoroark, right? I thought I swapped in my Kamala, and it was a Zoroark, but instead of that, right, I swapped in my Ditto, and this had Fling itself, so I got really confused. I was actually talking to my chat. So then after that, after the move failed, right, because it had Normalium Z as the item, and you couldn't Fling Normalium Z. And then I was like, oh, that was my Ditto instead. So I actually trolled myself with the illusion ability. So I thought I'd keep that in there because that was pretty funny, actually. That pays me to, pay attention to the battle. So it was quite funny. They both had Fling, such a, quite a niche move, but they both had it. So now we're going to go to Charge Bug there just to tank that out. And we got Spinder coming back in. I actually went for a Toxic and Charge Beam. Sort of combination here. So the first one I went for the Charge Beam. Spinder's going to be able to tank that really, really easy. I can tank Rock Blast, Rock Slides all day from this thing. It really doesn't have an incredible attack stat anyway, so it's not too much of a worry. The only thing I'd probably have to worry about is getting flinched maybe, 20 turns in a row. This thing's very, very tanky. So firing, I actually saw something the other day, right? It was a Charger Bug, right? Yeah, it was a charge bug, right? And it was like a little power supply. I think it might have been merch. You could plug something into it. It was really, really cool. So now we've got the Torocat coming out there, and it's going to intimidate me. Not that it really matters at all because I'm running a special set. So I know that I can live a Flare Blitz if this has Flare Blitz. However, it's going to go for a bulk up. So I was like, okay, this could be a problem. I've got to do something about this, right? So now we're going to go for a Charge Beam here on the Charger Bus, the Charge Beam Charger Bus, and I'm going to get a special attack race. It really actually doesn't do too much to it, so I'm thinking maybe it's a little bit bulky. So now we're getting a Fire Fang that's got a +1 attack. Charge Bug actually takes that really well. So I thought instead of going for a Charge Beam, which could miss and not actually take it out, I'd go for a Toxic, because that actually could serve me better over the course of the battle. And if it does have Flare Blitz, it's going to have to think twice about using that, because recoil and then the Toxic damage, it's not going to be on the field for very long. So, as I said before, I had Ditto, right? I had the Ditto Zoroark mess up before. So I'm going to swap Ditto in there, and we're going to transform into the Torocat. That was an absolute balls up before. I can't believe I did that. That move Fling, completely trolled me. So we got the Ditto here. We're going to intimidate the opposing Torocat there. Now they're going to go for Fire Fang. I looked at their moveset. They really didn't have a lot to actually hit me with. They had Bulk Up, Fire Fang, and Power Trip. So Power Trip was obviously there to, stack with Bulk Up, because Bulk Up raises your attack and defense. So Power Trick gets like a boost every stat stage, right? So that's what it was for. So now we got the opposing Torracat using the bulk up. We're both bulking up at the moment. We're both, we're both lifting people. I got to lift in about 3 hours, so going to hit the gym, guys. You know what, guys? You got to keep your health up. That's a very, very important thing. So now we're going to go for the power trip there. I outspeed, which is cool. And Torracat just manages to live and goes for another Fire Fang there on my Ditto. It still does a lot of damage, right? Because it actually crits me and gets through those boosts. I actually got critted a few times in this battle. That's quite mean. So Torracat's going to go down, and I'm starting to get back into this game. I'm in a pretty good spot now. So I've got a bulk up. I'm in a pretty nice spot. And now we've got the Alakazam coming out. So I was thinking, okay, Alakazam is most definitely going to outspeed me, right? I've got to save my Ditto for later on, right? Now we're going to go into Shedinja again just to see what it's going to do. It's going to go for a Psychic Cut. It's a physical Alakazam. I like the physical Alakazam. It's absolutely dreadful. Now, we got the Alakazam actually swapping out. Now, Alakazam actually has a move to hit me for super effective, so I wasn't sure if it had, like, knockoff or not. Now I went for Hyper Beam. This is it, guys. You get to see Hyper Beam. Look at it. It's firing a Hyper Beam out of its, like, nether region of its husk. So it does, like, 2 damage to the Scrafty, but that's good enough. That's all I want to do is get off a Hyper Beam Shedinja. Now we got Thief there. It's going to actually thief my item, which is Weakness Posse, and Shedinja is actually going to go down for a super effective hit. That's a shame, people, but at least I got Hyper Beam off, right? That was the most important thing in that set. What I was trying to achieve was get the Weakness Posse and a Silver Wind boost at the same time. That was sort of my dream goal there, but maybe one day. Now we're going to go into Charge Bug here. This Scrafty is going to go for a Thief again. Thief's not going to really do too much to me at all, and that's going to be my Zoroark. Okay, so we got the Zoroark here, which is my substitute, and we're going to go for a 69 health substitute. So with my Zoroark, I think I pretty much said this set. So we got Fling Sword Dance, Throat Chop, and Substitute, and Iron Balls the item, right? So I got this low sweep was actually like trolling the absolute heck out of my team. So that's going to be my substitute, definitely gone there. I'm going to go for the Fling and the Iron Ball. And my Kamala was the one that suffered before. I think I made a little commentary area there. So that is a pretty good amount of damage, and that's the Scrafty down for actually like resisting it. It's pretty good. That can be quite bulky, that Pokemon. So now we've got an Alakazam left and one other Pokemon, which is the Shelgon. So I was like, okay, Shelgon's pretty bulky in the fence. Is this an Everlight set or is it not? It's time to go throw that Lamb Chop at the... that sort of looks like a Lamb Chop too. So I'm to throw the Lamb Chop at the Beef Chop, and it's going to go for a Dragon Dance there, bolstering its attack and speed. Now, even after a Dragon Dance, this thing isn't the fastest in the world, so I was able to get another Throat Chop off. Man, I'm throwing these Lamb Chops everywhere, and I'm going to get hit with a yellow hand, and that is my Zoroark down. I mean, I've still got Ditto left, and I've still got Charge Bug left, so there is hope. There's a physical Alakazam, and there's a physical Shelgon left. So instead of having Everlight, had Shell Bell, which was pretty interesting. Shell Bell is a cool item. So now we're going to go into Ditto. This is me hoping I can get a Dragon Rush or any kind of like move off against it. Now I've got Normally MZ Double Edge. This had Double Edge as one of the moves. So I decided to go for Dragon Claw instead and save that Double Edge for like another time. So Shelgon's got to go down. That was good getting rid of that. If I didn't get rid of that, I would have probably lost there. That was I still could have lived, I think. I may have just live the next one. Regardless, I wasn't sure. I had to get rid of it. So we got the Alakazam going for the Psycho Cut, and my Ditto's going to go down. I could not have swapped into Charge Bug here because Charge Bug had to be at like its maximum amount of health before swapping in. So I'm down to 42 health. Alakazam's got about as much attack as, well, a Shuckle, and it's going to go for Psycho Cut. I lived down on 11 health, and I'm able to go off the rest, and this is where the fun begins, people. This is probably the longest part of the battle. So as you guys know, Alakazam actually has a decent special defense stat, and it can have Magic Guard as well. So I was thinking, well, the only thing I'm going to be able to do right is go for the Charge Beam and get enough Charge Beams off. Now, the problem is it does have Psycho Cut, because if it actually does crit me with Psycho Cut in a couple of turns, I'm going to be in a really bad spot. So go for the Sleep Talk there, and we get a Charge Beam, which is, is pretty good, right? So I get Charge Beam off the start. That's nice. I get some solid damage there for Charge Beam, but I don't get a stat boost. So I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. I mean, it's not guaranteed, right? But, it's a pretty good chance to actually get it. Then again, at the same time, it actually has a good chance to not get it. So go for a Sleep Talk here, and of course, guys, we get the classic Sleep Talk Rest. It's like, Charge Beam and Rest, that's not too bad. Like, I mean, at least I didn't get Rest twice in a row. So, why this is going on, guys, pretty much what happened, right, is the Alakazam kept firing the Psycho Cuts at me, and I kept going for the Rest and trying to get the Charge Beam off to actually take it out. Also, I was going to say one little thing too about the channel. In the near future, I'm actually going to introduce a couple of small sponsored ads into my videos too. So I hope that's cool with you guys. With the YouTube climate, I'm just introducing some sort of things like that. It's not going to be very often, but I will probably include them in some of my future theme teams. So I thought I'd just give you guys a heads up on that. Anyway, so with this matchup, what happened, right, is I got Charge Beam, then Rest, right? But I got the same no boost with Charge Beam, and then I got the same Rest with Sleep Talk, like over and over, like they continue the same thing in a row. I almost got it 3 times in a row, which was like very, very frustrating. It was like making me super salty. So going for the Sleep Talk there again, and I got Rest. So as you've seen, I got the same thing twice. It was like deja vu, really. It's like you do something and exactly the same thing happens. Now this Alakazam, right, was desperately trying to go for a Psycho Cut crit. Like real talk here, it should have nearly got like a crit right now. It's actually quite lucky that it didn't get one. Now, also, on my Alakazam, I actually ran knockoff on there, so I'm actually kind of lucky that it didn't have knockoff either, because, that would have been, like, kind of, handy in the game earlier on. So we're going to have it get hit by another Psycho... Like, looking at Psycho Cut, right, that's about I reckon that's about a 6-hit KO, so it needs a couple... Like, it probably needs, like, 2 really good crits, or 1 really good crit when I'm on a low amount of health, and I've still got 1 round of rest to actually go. So go for another Charge Beam there on the Alakazam, and I don't get another... Man, I can't get a Charge Beam boost, like, in my entire life with this Pokemon. So getting hit by another... I finally get critted there by the Psycho Cut. It only took, like, the entire game for it to actually happen. And now we're going to go for a second Sleep Talk here, and we finally get Charge Beam instead of Rest. I throw off that Charge Beam. I open up my little bus engine, and finally, guys, we get that special attack boost. So the thing about it, right, is I got it right at the end where it didn't, like, matter as much. So obviously I was thinking, I could go for another Charge Beam. I know that I could probably just live another one, but I didn't want to take any chances, so I went for the Rest again. Normally I don't stall on battles, but this was, like, my only way to actually stand this game, because if I could just keep going for Charge Beam, I never would have taken the Alakazam out, and I would have obviously gone down to Psycho Cut damage. So now Alakazam is pretty much it's gone here. It has to get 2 crits. Even 2 crits is not going to be enough to take me out, and Charger Bus is going to charge to victory. But that's pretty much it for this team. It was actually a pretty fun team to do, actually. There's a lot of signature abilities out there. I guess I picked some of the more prominent ones, and I put a doubles one in there too, so I could introduce it into a doubles battle. Now, I'm going on a holiday kind of soon too. I thought, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but on the 7th of August, I think for a week or so, I'm going on a holiday. So I've been making a lot of theme teams for that, so why I'm away. That's why I haven't been putting up as many lately. But you'll see me again on a Friday for a Pokemon sweep, maybe Saturday as well. Thursdays, I normally have them off, so so we've got a couple of Pokemon sweeps coming Friday and maybe Saturday too. All right, people, hope you enjoyed that one. Peace out.